Hi, welcome again to my channel. In this episode, I wanted to share what it means to be living in India as a black man, or say generally as an African or as a Nigerian. First thing you need to know is that India is vast, as in very big, alright? And there are a lot of people. India has about 1.3 billion people. So living in India as a black man or as an African is quite challenging. That is the truth. That is the basic thing that one must first of all bear in mind, that living in this kind of society, it's a different society from Africa, especially for Nigeria. It's totally different from our society. I think some of the few things that we have in common are religion. Okay, Indians are highly religious people, and I think Africans too. Most Africans are religious people. So, but the only thing is that majority of Indians are Hindus. So, why in Africa you are either a Muslim or a Christian? Only a few people are still traditional worshippers in Africa today. So I'd like to itemize some things based on my personal experience. Okay, so take note that this experience I'm sharing is based on my own perspective, based on what I have seen, based on what I have experienced, based on what I have read or heard or see people share. All right, so you can share your own experience if you disagree or if you think I'm not entirely correct. All right, so please feel free to share your own personal experience. Number one thing that you would notice in India is the difference between Africans and Indians. Not just about color. There are people who are darker than me. There are people whose skin are much more darker than me. In fact, there are people who have seen Indians who are very, very black, as in very, very black. So it's not just about skin. It's more about the socialization. It's more about the mentality. Exactly. It's more about the mentality, the ideology of the Indian society. So it's quite different. You cannot overemphasize it. It's very, very different from the African society or culture. I was planning to come to India in 2017. Some people in UAE, especially Africans, they told me that I shouldn't go. Main reason was that there was a problem that went viral on the social media where Africans were killed, Nigerians were killed. I also learned there was probably a Togolese woman was also lynched in New Delhi or somewhere around there. And that's not, especially in the north, it is believed that Indians don't like Africans. That's what a lot of people believe. So it could be stereotype anyway, but that's just the major belief. That's the common mentality of people, of Africans, about living or coming to India. They believe that Indians don't like Africans. And some Indians have actually done things to Africans that actually could have made people believe that, okay, truly, the Indians are not nice to Africans or that they don't like Africans. Although, I differ a little, and the reason I differ is based on my personal experience. So I said I may be wrong, okay? It may be, my experience may be different from yours. I'm going to be sharing my experience. So my experience is such that I have met very, very nice Indians. I mean, extremely nice Indians. All right. At the same time, I have met some nasty ones. I've met those who are not nice. I've met Indians who will call you names. Probably they won't call you, confess you directly. People. There was a particular day I think during one of the festive periods, one of my faculties invited me to their house to come celebrate with them, and meet her family. So as I got down from my Uber, walking on the street towards the address she gave me, two young boys walked past me, and I heard one of them making some nasty comments about me. They didn't greet me, I didn't greet them, and they were just passing by and making nasty comments about me. I mean, I think one of them was saying something like a black monkey or something. I mean, I'm not that black, and but it's obvious that I'm an African. So you may experience such things in India. I mean, even in the UAE, it's probably more prevalent in the UAE than it is here in India that I've experienced. But because there is law and order is highly maintained in places like UAE, people may not be able to lynch you like they can do here in India. All right, people may not be able to come confront you and abuse you or say things to you like it could be here in India, because India is, sorry to say, kind of almost lawless to some extent. It's kind of lawless. People don't care. People do whatever they like. They do here in India. So these are some of the things. And at another experience again, I went to we went to a particular village as social workers, trainee social workers on internship. And then there was this particular lady whom we were talking to in the village. And she said, oh, this is a Negro, I pretended as if I didn't hear her, so, and then she was asking me where am I from and all of that, So, but it doesn't matter to me, sincerely, because this is not my country. And when I was leaving my country, I had known that I had already prepared myself that, people won't like people. Some people will not like you, no matter what, and some will like you, honestly. So, and even in Nigeria, in your country, wherever you are, there are racism everywhere. Sincerely, that's the truth. There's you. Maybe only a few countries around the world are where racism might not be well pronounced, but in many other countries, people are racist. Okay. So India is not an exception. So even though some people may say, okay, it is exceptional because people will lynch you, especially that's what makes it very bad in India. If you do something wrong in the community or in the city, you can see 50, 60 people gathering, or 10, 20 people gathering together and beating up that particular person. So that's that's mob lynching, which is very bad. It's terrible. It happens in my country, but I doubt if that will happen to a foreigner. It don't happen to a foreigner. I can say that will not happen to a foreigner. But for a local, it could happen to a local person. I mean, people gather and say, oh, this person did this other thing, and they gather and burn that person. Or maybe somebody stole and they gather and beat him up, That happens very well in Nigeria. It happens in most African countries. It happens a lot here in India. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, somebody sent me a video where I believe an African was being beaten on the street of New Delhi. And later we heard the fact that they say the guy broke the law. What law did he broke? They say he broke traffic law, and then he was arguing with a traffic officer, and then people gathered together in a place that looked like a market, and they beat him up. So this is quite terrible. But it happens in India. So these are some of the things that Africans face in India, or that they may face in India. One person actually gave me a very nice explanation and experience. An Indian. I went visiting a friend of mine it's in South American country. So the person told me, he told me that when you see people gather together, don't argue with them. When they abuse you, don't respond. You better walk away, especially when you're a foreigner. or African. If you don't respond, there is tendency that it may only be just insult or name calling. But if you try to respond, try to fight them back, they will gather and beat you. All right. Okay. So another thing that being an African that you will experience or you face here in India is language barrier. Language barrier. Most people who speak Hindi don't speak English. Most, yes. There are a lot of English speakers in India. A lot. I mean, a lot. Most of the educated Indians can communicate one English or one way or another. Maybe not fluently, but there are a lot of people who speak very good British English. I mean, very good. All right. So you will meet people like that. But then, if you are in the midst of those who are not so educated, maybe you live in a local area, or you villages or rural area, or marketplaces. If you go to marketplaces on the street, there may be tendency that you may not be able to communicate. So I think foreigners will be better. It's better to go to the mall. Right? When you go to the mall, even in the mall, there are places where even the mall attendants might even be Hindi speakers or people who don't speak English. But then you will be able to, they will respect you, they will talk to you respectfully, they will address you well, they will not attempt to cheat you or may not attempt to cheat you. But those who are in the market, when they know that you are a foreigner, they will attempt to cheat you. That's it's very important to notice that they will attempt to cheat you. The market people will attempt to cheat you. The e-rickshaw drivers may attempt to cheat you. Some of them, I have seen one. I've seen a few who will be straightforward. Even when you pay them, there was a particular time I deliberately pay excess money and the guy gave me my change back, and I respect him for that. So I think it's everywhere. Even if you go to Nigeria, there are people who will try to cheat you. Even market women who will try to cheat. So these are some of the things that we have in common. People will cheat you if care is not taken. The same thing happens in Nigeria as well. So it's not so new to me. I mean, to people who live in Nigeria and who are average people, you may not be surprised so much. All right? And another thing that may be somehow in India as a black person is making friends. Making friends is not that easy. It's not that easy. They will, when they see you, they will want to ask you questions. What is your name? Where are you from? What are you doing in India? Don't confuse that with making friends with you. They only want to talk. They only want to know, where are you from? They only want to know your name. Don't be surprised if you see people walk up to you without saying good morning or good afternoon or without saying hi. They will just say, what is your name? And then as soon as you say your name, the person will just walk away, or the person will just start laughing. I've seen few people who get angry or disappointed that they are laughing at you, especially female Africans. They don't like it when you are laughing at them. But for me, I don't mind. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't read any meaning to it. Maybe because I'm an adult, very mature, so that's probably why. But such things happen frequently, so it's not so easy to make friends in India. They may be friendly, okay? They may be friendly to you. And then it also depends on your kind of personality as well. Your kind of personality, what kind of friend you want to make, and these are also factors that plays out. But really, I think it may be difficult for a black person to make friends with Indians. Here in India especially, though there are very good chance that if you have things in common with them, that they will make friends with you. All right? I think it's... there are a lot of Indians that are open-minded, all right? But there are also a lot of Indians who are who are close-minded. So it both, you see the good, you see the bad, you see the ugly, you see the very good. All right. So I've visited a few families who are Indians. They will, attend to me very well. They are so caring, so loving. So one thing that you cannot take away from Indians are they are hospitable people. Sincerely, they are hospitable people. They like foreigners. I would say they like foreigners. Sincerely, they like foreigners. Even though there may be some stereotype about Africans, but in general, I think Indians like foreigners. So, but I think it's probably everywhere you go in the world, making friends with locals may not be that easy, because the mentality is different. So it depends also on you. If you are the kind of person that is open-minded, or you are able to find people who do the things you do. For instance, if you are a student, if you're able to meet students who share your kind of values, whom you do things together. Okay, one of the guys that I met here when I came in 2017 was very popular in Nigeria, very, very popular. All right, everybody in the street here around the college, in the college, everybody knows him. Everybody calls his name. Everybody has a lot of friends, and I think the reason for that is that he speaks Hindi. All right. So he by the time I came, he has spent almost 4 years in India. So he speaks very good Hindi. All right. So and he smokes a lot. Indians smoke a lot. So and I believe he also drink and do all those things that they do with them. So that's actually a good opportunity for him to bond with them. All right. So if you have things in common, there's tendency that you will easily make friends. But don't like me friends with me. For people who are not open-minded, for me, people who are not well experienced, all right, because I don't discuss flimsy issues. I don't discuss boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So that makes it a little bit easy. I mean, difficult for me to make friends with some people. And the kind of things that I don't talk about, a lot of people around here don't talk about them. So in most cases, I'm pretty much to myself. And then, there's a little bit of relationship between me and my classmates as well. But on a friendship level, I would say I have not really made an Indian friend. Okay, I would say maybe I made a friend at a particular time, a female, who was mature, and in her 30s, a woman, and but suddenly she stopped answering my calls and stopped responding to my messages. I don't know why, we didn't quarrel at all, and she was very nice to me, very well matured, and I do not think I offend her. I don't think so. So, but suddenly she just stopped responding to my messages and she didn't call, and because she's a woman as well, I decided to, not disturb her so that I don't give unnecessary impression as well. So that's on that about making friends. Stereotype, there are a lot of stereotypes about India because when I came, I lived in the hostel, in the college hostel. And I found out that a lot of young guys were coming to my room. They were coming, maybe they wanted to make friends. So they are younger people to me, but later I found out that they had the mentality or the stereotype that Africans smoke, so they wanted me to smoke with them, or that you do drug, all right, so, or that you sell drugs. So some of them believe that they kind of have the mentality or the stereotype that Africans sell drugs, or Nigerians sell drugs, or that Nigerians do drugs, okay? So which is something that we don't all do. Maybe a few Nigerians do it. Very, very few Nigerians probably do it. I learned that in New Delhi, there are a lot of Nigerians who do drugs, who sell drugs. So this is a stereotype that okay, probably all majority of Nigerians do drugs or sell drugs, all right, or maybe we smoke, or maybe we womanize and all and stuff like that, or that we even do internet fraud and all of that. So these are stereotypes that people have, that I think people have about Nigerians or Indians have about Nigerians. So they're always asking questions wherever you go, whether in the marketplace or in school, or especially those who can speak English. If they can speak English, they won't talk to you. They won't talk to you, and I think I kind of like that. Somehow I kind of like that. Some people may not. Another thing, as a black man, that you would expect in India is that they will stare at you. They will look at you and turn their face as you go. So they look at you very much. And I also see that in the UAE. So perhaps because I've lived in the UAE 3 years prior, makes me kind of had prepared me for what to expect here. So as I try to round up this video, one other thing that I think you would notice here is that there are very few Africans in India, very few Africans. Probably if you live in major cities like Bombay, like New Delhi, maybe in Bangalore also, you may see more Nigerians or more Africans. But in other cities, you may not see a lot of Africans. But in general, I think it is fair to say there are only very few Africans living in India. And especially because India is very vast, and there is no money to make in India. That's one thing. So if you are coming to study in India, you know that you are just coming to study in India. There's probably nothing like working part-time. I know I've heard that some people say they make money in those who live in New Delhi and Bombay, but I don't know what they do. Okay. So, but and another thing is that studying in India is very hectic. There's always assignment, there's always project, So, especially in my school here, there's always assignment to write, there's always project to write. And in my course also, we always go in every semester. There is internship, there is the different reports you have to write. Each assignment probably requires you to write 6 pages, and if you are typing, they might be asking you for 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 words. So it's kind of tedious. So this is what I think it is, being African or black in India. And I would like to say, I don't think Indians hate Africans. So even though you may have heard bad stories, you may have heard terrible things about Indians or terrible things happening to Africans or Nigerians in India, but at the same time, I'd like to say I don't think Indians hate Africans. I think Indians are generally nice to foreigners, and they could also be nice to Nigerians or Africans. I know very good Indians. I know parents, I know adults, I know young people who have visited family homes whom they attended to me very well and were nice to me. So I don't think Indians hate Africans. And like I said, I'll be traveling to the UAE in about 2 months from now. So I'll be sharing that experience also, probably shooting some outdoor videos over there in the UAE. And then probably, share some experience with my wife if she agrees. All right, thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe. See you.